Yeah.
See here that we have these sodium channels being opened, right? And up here, even more sodium channels being opened. All right, so quick and fast, mixed nerves, compound action potentials. So these nerves here, right? Which contain many different neurons. Okay, and these nerves do not follow the all or none principle, right? Mixed nerves, put this in your minds. Mixed nerves do not follow the all or none principle. So what does that mean? So therefore, the more intense the stimulus applied, the greater the amplitude that can be achieved. Whereas before, when we said in our regular neuron, right, when we have the all or none principle, if we apply a more intense stimulus, we cannot achieve a greater amplitude, right? Because we have that barrier of the threshold being implemented here, right? So once it reaches threshold, it will shoot off. Okay, great. So this is a diagram of a compound action potential that you would meet in your OSP, right? So here, this line here is where you apply a 2-volt stimulus, nothing really happens. A 3-volt stimulus, you have some a little trickle of something happen. 4 volts, right? You could say it probably exceeded the let's say the uh threshold, right? But this would correspond with a super threshold value, right? So we'll see all that after, right? And we have like this point here would represent the summation of um, these compound nerves and such, right? So you would have met this in Young Martin's lecture as well. So what you have to know here and be very aware of, and these are the hello, B fibers, very important. The fact that the function of it, you would find it in preganglionic neurons, important. C fibers, pain, temperature, and are post-ganglionic. Ganglionic. The smallest diameter, slowest velocity. What you also have to know is that A alpha fibers are the largest in diameter and fastest. Between all the A's, this will be the slowest. All right, Ryan, you could take over.
Yeah. So, guys, what we're discussing here right now points to what I mentioned earlier. I think I did. Yeah. So, a nerve isn't a neuron, right? A nerve is not a neuron. If you look at the specimens in the lab, you can see the median nerve, you can see the radial nerve. Each one of those nerves is made up of uh, several bundles or fascicles, which contain nerve fibers, which contain neurons, right? Now, a nerve can contain several different types of fibers, and individual fibers can contain different neurons, which have different thresholds, right? So, a transmission of a signal will depend on which the type of signal transmitted will depend on which neuron is stimulated. Please stop me if you get confused about what I'm saying. The type of signal depends on whether its corresponding neuron will be stimulated. And neurons have different thresholds, which is why on the graph before, you had different voltages corresponding to different fibers. So one fiber will get 2 volts, one fiber will have 3 volts, one fiber will have 4 volts, right? And that is what we call summation. You're summating the different nerve fibers. Okay? Now, but here, you would understand by now from UMed that we put things in red because they're important to know. These, as much as annoying as they might look, they are important, right? Because what they'll do, and you'll see questions coming up later, is that they won't ask you the type of fiber, whether it's A, B, A beta, A gamma. Well, they'll ask you fibers that transmit pain, temperature, and are postganglionic um, are most vulnerable to this particular thing, right? Now you need to know that that is a C fiber. They're not going to tell you C fiber is this. Now, from here, you can appreciate that the the size of the nerve fibers is in descending order, right? So the A alpha fibers are the largest types of fibers. And as you progress, they're going to get smaller and smaller. Now, the large or the size of the fibers corresponds to their myelination. Request remote control. All right. Okay. All right. Good. I still have the marker. So let's talk about the A alpha fiber, right? So let's pretend that this is a nerve fiber. Try to draw. Let's pretend this is a nerve fiber down here, right? This is like the center. It's big and thick, right? All of this is myelin, right? Produced by Schwann cells, right? So the Schwann cells generate myelin sheaths in respective neurons, right? So this is the A fiber that we're talking about, right? Or more specifically, let's call it the A alpha fiber. Now, we're going to talk about the C fiber now. So the C fiber is going to be much, much smaller, right? That's the C fiber. Now, myelin, if you remember, Brandon would have told you this in the last class, but myelin is what facilitates fast transmission. Remember how the nerve impulse travels between the respective nodes of Ranvier? So here's a myelin sheath, there's a node of Ranvier, right? The action potential is going to jump from one node of Ranvier to another. And it's these myelin sheaths that allow it to travel fast, right? So the bigger, more myelinated fibers are going to carry faster impulses. Is everyone following? Give me some confirmation, please. Come on, guys, let's finish up. Cool, cool, cool. Tamara, there are people we haven't really heard from. Remember, you can stop me at any time if you're not understanding. But let's try finish up. So yeah, smallest fibers, small, their velocity, their transmission rate is going to be very slow because they don't have as many of these nodes, no, these myelin sheaths, right? So on, right? So it's important to note that the A alpha, that it's particularly important to note these, right? And this in particular, right? The C fibers and the A delta fibers. You need to note that the C fibers are postganglionic and they deal with pain and temperature, right? You know that pain and temperature is going to be C, right? C is a small fiber, right? So you know that it's not gonna have a fast transmission velocity of action potentials, right? Now, if you know that if it asks you about the fiber that's proprioceptive, that deals with motor function, you know that that's an A alpha fiber. So it's gonna have a thick myelin sheath and it's gonna carry fast impulses. Okay? And the rest of them be familiar with. Now, fiber type, here are some of the locations and functions. Now, like I said, the C fiber is quite important to note, right? Um, of course, the A alpha, A beta, and A delta, they have their own respective functions, right? but the C fiber is the most important to make note of. All of this is going to come back when you do neuroscience too, and when you apply it to the spinal cord, because the spinal cord has various tracts of neurons, and depending on what stimulus the spinal cord is going to carry in a section, you'll have different fibers corresponding to that stimulus. But don't worry about that for now. Just note these. Now, this is a very important slide. What young Martin would have probably told you to do is to commit it to memory is just imagine it like Bach, ABC, CBA, or something like that. I don't know. Now, if you notice that it's showing factors that affect the nerves. Now, this is a clinical correlation, right? This is how you can apply your knowledge of nerve sizes to what will affect them or how they'll be affected by these different variables. Hypoxia, lack of oxygen. Pressure, direct pressure being applied. For example, you go and you sleep on your arm, right? You wake up and it feels numb. You're applying direct pressure to the nerve. Local anesthetics, right? Well, this is important to note. Things like lidocaine, you use them to block nerve impulses whenever you're doing a surgery. Whenever you're doing a suture, you inject lidocaine. So you need to be able to block nerves so that the patient doesn't feel pain, right? Orthopedic surgeries on the arm, you do a brachial plexus nerve block to prevent transmissions, right? So I'm going to show you a way in which you can remember a lot of this stuff, okay? Now, why don't we start with local anesthetics, okay? So if you'd notice that the smallest fibers are the most susceptible, right? The intermediate fibers, B, which is roughly in between the size of C and A, is intermediate. And the least susceptible are the largest fibers, which are the A fibers, right? Now, the way you can use to remember this is, I want you to think of surface area and volume ratio, okay? So, if you might remember from high school, it's okay if you don't. You have a surface area and a volume, right? So the surface area is what's present, the surface that's exposed to the environment on an object, right? And you also have the volume that it occupies. So this big box right here obviously has a large volume, right? So let's say that the volume is 150, right? And let's say the surface area is let's say it's 20 or something, right? So a surface area to volume ratio is going to be 20 over 150, right? So this, you have a large number on top, a big number on the bottom. So you're going to get a small number as a result, right? So the large object has a small surface area to volume ratio. Now, the small object, say the surface area is the same, theoretically, you're going to have a much smaller volume. Look at how small it is. So let's say it's 8. The value for this, 8, 8, 2, 16, 8, 2, 16, let's say 2 or something. Because the number on top is larger, you're going to have a much larger surface area to volume ratio. When the surface area to volume ratio is larger, you're going to have more of it exposed for anesthetics to bind. Hence, the smallest fibers are most vulnerable to anesthetics. This is the way Brandon told us to remember it. And it worked for me. So this is part of the reason or a way in which you can remember why smallest fibers are most vulnerable to anesthetics. Now, for pressure now, it's a lot easier. Think about it. You sleep on your arm, right? You wake up, your arm is numb. Suppose you slept on your radial nerve, right? And your arm, you have a wrist drop, right? The largest nerves in the arm are more, or tell me, would you think that if a nerve is large, would it be more vulnerable to pressure from the exterior or less vulnerable? Tell me. More. Okay, anyone else? Give your talk. Give your talk. Or give your take on the matter. I guess Ariane is agreeing with Tamara. Okay. Yeah. So the largest fibers, they're more exposed or more vulnerable to external pressure. Hence, you can use that as a way of remembering that the largest fibers, which you know are the A fibers, are most susceptible to pressure. And C fibers, which are small, covered up by a lot of tissue that's probably protecting it, is least vulnerable to pressure. All right? These are important things to know because questions will come on this. C is less. Yeah, I mean, that's, even though it's right here, but I want you guys to understand based on my arm example. You sleep on your arm. The major nerves, because they're large, are going to be more affected. The smaller fibers are going to be covered up in tissue and less vulnerable to pressure, right? Hypoxia now. Now, Brandon, I think he used a way to remember this, but I can't quite. This is the one I couldn't quite remember. I don't think there was anything else anything special that he used to remember it.
Um, for the hypoxia, right? So I couldn't really figure out like a good way to remember this one. So how I remembered it, I just kind of like stared at the diagram and I just remember that hypoxia was one of the factors, the first factor mentioned, right? And I just remembered back. That's literally all. So therefore, the most susceptible would be B followed by A followed by C. That's how I remembered hypoxia. Really enjoy.
So you can use your Martin's method for that. But these are important to know, guys. Please try and commit them to memory because the questions will come on this. They like to ask about it.
Or probably, another way you could probably think about it, hypoxia, what does hypoxia mean?
That means lack of oxygen.
Right, lack of oxygen, right? How do you uptake oxygen? By breathing, right? And what's the most susceptible? B, breathing. Yeah. All right, so yeah.
To move
Try
on.
that question.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.